that we do is we follow the 10 Commandments. And this is quiz time. Can we remember all the 10 among us without looking it up? Let's see how we do. All right, what are some of the commandments? Don't kill people, that's bad. Wait, honor thy father and mother. No stealing, no adultery.
Love thy neighbor.
Don't covet your neighbor.
No God before me.
No God before me. So we're at 6. Good enthusiasm, we're not there yet. 10 commandments. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. We're almost there. We're at 7.
Thou shalt not covet.
Oh, we got that one. No coveting. Father and mother, we got that one. So really, really honor your father and mother. Can we worship idols? No, that's frowned on. So we're at 9. All right, I don't know. I'm confused now. Let's see. We've got. Don't take the Lord's name in vain. Right? Of course, that's the one I forgot with my mouth. So, we've got these 10. So, shortly after all the Israelites escaped Egypt and Pharaoh, they figured out, wait a minute, we're going to have to live together for a long time. And we're in the middle of the desert. And, you know, Pharaoh had all kinds of rules, and we're great. We're very grateful that we're not hanging out with Pharaoh, but we still need some kind of rules. So Moses goes up a mountain, talks to God, and chisels out a bunch of rules. And these are them. And if you're thinking of the Mel Brooks movie where there's 15 and he trips and breaks one of the tablets, you're not alone, because that's where my mind is going to. So these are pretty straightforward. And the order is interesting, because the first one is, don't take the Lord's name in vain. Oh, that's not the first one. Let's try flipping the page. First one is flip the page and make sure you start at the beginning. I am the Lord your God, no other gods before me. Don't make any idols, because I am God. Don't use God's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. So the first 4 have to do with God and our relationship with God. Those come before all the other ones. And it's only then that we start saying other things. The next one is interesting. It's honor your mother and father. And it's not until, what are we at? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not till number 6 that they say don't murder. And all these other ones have a couple of phrases to describe them. So you shall not make wrongful use of the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not acquit anyone who misuses the name. So that's saying don't use God's name in vain. But then for the murder one it says you shall not murder. So it's interesting how these ones to do with our relationship with God have so much more detail than these ones that we still follow in society. So, you shall not murder, period. You shall not commit adultery, period. You shall not steal, period. Those are all very straightforward. But the thing they have in common is how we relate to each other. So our first rules have to do with how we relate to God. And then they transition into how we relate to each other. But the coolest part about these commandments, these guidelines on how to live, is that they're all related. That if we are able to follow these guidelines on how to relate to God, then relating to each other then becomes second nature. And you cannot have one without the other. And that's pretty darn cool. So one of my favorite passages, and it's actually my mom's favorite passage, is Micah 6:6-8. And you'll probably recognize it. What does the Lord require of you? But to seek justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. And that's Micah's way of summing up these 10. So how clever do you think we are? Can we do the round on that song? If I had eyebrow expression, I would have one raised. I think we can do it.
So well, I'll explain.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so, do you need leaders?
Okay.
Sandra, Sheila, are you able to? Yay. Angie isn't here. So we'll sing the whole thing through once. Then, Sheila, you want to start on this side?
Yes, I do.
Yay! Then this side will start. So follow Sheila, if she wants to follow, she wants to lead you. And then Sandra will start that side when it's your turn. And choir knows what they're doing. They will be number 3. Don't follow the choir. Okay?
We can do this.
We can do it.
You're with me.
All, yeah, all